The digital fortress, the digital fortress, the digital fortress, the digital fortress, digital fortress, digital fortress. Let's get started. So, what is digital fortress about? But before we start on that, let's talk about my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and like the button if you like this video. And also click the bell button so that you can always do a favor and get all the videos on time. Let's get started. My name is Sean, your host, and let's get started. Dan Brown's Digital Fortress. Now, Digital Fortress is, I don't know what to say about it. It's like an explosion in history. All that I'm going to say about it is that Digital Fortress has a lot of things that is not actually for children, because I'm a child, to be honest, like 10 years old. I'm not even sure that's considered a child anymore. I'm a teenager too. I wonder what's between a child and teenager. Or whatever. In Digital Fortress, we're talking about unbreakable codes that are actually viruses or worms. That is. And all it seems to do is that Dan did a pretty good job on this book. Like National Security Agency in Fort Meade of Maryland, there is the most powerful intelligence agency in the whole world with the most powerful code-breaking computer. Translator tries to break a code, it can't. When Susan Fletcher, a brilliant and beautiful mathematician, was called to fix this problem, what she uncovers sends shockwaves through the corridors of power, and the NSA is being held hostage not by guns, pew, 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 or swords, or bombs. Pew. The NSA is being held hostage by a code so ingeniously complex that if released, it might cripple U.S. intelligence forever and destroy it. In Seville, Spain, the creator of the code, Ense Tancado, is found dead. And with him has died the secret to an impregnable code writing formula that threatens to actually break the power vacuum of the whole wide world of the post-Cold War balance of power forever. And from the underground hallways of power to skyscrapers of Tokyo, the towering cathedrals of Spain, and a desperate race unfolds. And when Susan Fletcher finds out that she's just fighting for her country, she realizes she's not fighting just for her country, but for her life, and eventually for the man she loves. And eventually for the man she loves, well, yeah, David Becker. So, let me give you a quick review of this Digital Fortress, of my opinion. My official review here is that this book has a lot of twists and turns in it, which makes it a really good novel. And the thing here is that it makes you keep wanting to read it more by having cliffhangers, even at the epilogue, which is at the end of the book. And I can't believe they actually put a cliffhanger at the end of the book and never write a sequel to it. That's one reason why I'm putting it not for full 5 out of 5 stars, but for a 4.1 star, I guess. And the ending is actually terrible, in my opinion. But the beginning is actually awesome. But also the plot is a good plot too, because of everything that I've ever experienced in my whole entire life. I never actually experienced a plot like Dan Brown's. I mean, I haven't even read Deception Point yet, and I really want to read Deception Point. Yeah, seriously, guys. But all I see in this Digital Fortress is a blueprint locked by the safe that the blueprint helped create. And that's technically what Digital Fortress is in its concept. And it's actually impossible. Every code is actually breakable. Maybe under 24 hours, but the longest that translator has ever needed to break a code was 3 hours. Digital Fortress was dangerous in a lot of ways. The danger is that this is as bad as it seems to sound like. Here, there is a lot of love and treacherous in this types of in Robert's books, and as it goes into places, USA and Spain, it has a lot of things that we all have in common. And Digital Fortress is what its name actually implies on. There's actually a theory on a code where basically no computer can break it. The computer actually guesses the right combination, but it didn't know it created the right combination. And that's why it keeps on going through a loop, and actually keeps it going more than 24 hours to break. That's all I'm going to say about Digital Fortress so right now. And now let's just get into why I think Dan Brown is an ingenious person. Even though Dan Brown the only novels that Dan Brown ever read were all his own, which is kind of weird. I think that I pretty much like Digital Fortress for how its story gave us an ingenious way to think of the world in any way, like a new plot, for example. Digital Fortress introduces us to the code-breaking world and possible US intelligence. And by the end of the year, we might, by the end of the century, we might already have more technology and more advanced technology, actually way more advanced technology than Digital Fortress, the ones that are introduced in Digital Fortress. Maybe even more than Star Wars. Okay, maybe not more than Star Wars, but definitely have time travel machines, which actually might not be real. And also, I think one of my, speaking of time traveling machines, my theory, not related to this at all, my theory about time travel and why we're not seeing time travels today is because that they've come to alter the past. Sort of. They've come and are dressed as us, and that's why we do not have any suspicions about them. True, time travel doesn't exist at all, that is. And also, there's also one more theme that I would like to say from Digital Fortress. Nothing is impossible. The impossible just takes longer. Maybe not. Maybe some things are actually really impossible, like what? Like licking your nose with your tongue. Well, licking your nose with your tongue, that is. See? Unless you have DNA that has a little longer tongue, a very longer tongue, then you can probably just lick all the way to your hair. Or you created a portal, that is. But right now, that is technically the end of this episode. This is the end of this episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys did enjoy this episode, please like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next episode. Now, peace. Atomics X!